r/relationships. Majestic Custard says, GF wants to split expenses 60/40 and have me repay her for expenses we split 50/50. Fair? I, 27 meters, moved in with my girlfriend, 26F, last August when we had jobs that paid roughly the same, and we agreed to split all our costs 50/50. A couple months later, I got a new job with a considerably higher salary. We kept splitting our costs 50/50 for several months. It genuinely hadn't occurred to either of us to change anything, but last week she asked me to take on a higher proportion of the cost, 60/40, because it's unfair for her to pay the same as me when she makes much less. She has student debt and no savings. I have strong savings and no debt. I didn't disagree. This seemed fair, and I was happy to oblige. But then she asked me to repay her for the past few months since I got the better paying job to make up that 60/40 balance. Does this seem fair? I recognize that if we agree the arrangement isn't fair now, then it wasn't fair before either. At the same time, we'd agreed to split everything 50/50 before, and it seems strange to apply our new agreement retroactively. I don't think anyone here intends harm. I'm not trying to be cheap, she's not trying to unduly take my money. I think we are both trying to do what's fair. But I'm curious what you think. TL, Doctor, GF and I split expenses 50/50. I started making more money, so she asked to split expenses 60/40. I'm good with that, but she's also asking to retroactively apply this 60/40 split so that I repay her for previous 50/50 expenses. Fair? 757 and 123 says, I agree with you that it's unfair for her to expect back pay. But with that being said, just be happy with the 60/40 split going forward. I would love to have that. My current split is more like 90/10ths with my girlfriend, but she does the majority of the housework as well. Stunning_appeal_2343 says, I find weird you didn't offer to pay more from the second you got a better job. Finances are one of the biggest cause of breakup/divorce. Communicate if you want to be with her and say give in to her demand. If not, I would say it's time to start thinking to split up. Once a relationship reaches this penny financial status, where each cent you make counts, it won't work. There will be too many date nights, bills, Tommy's baseball practice in the future. Abracadabrilazapam says, y'all are splitting costs? I missed the memo on that. Johnny 12589 says, you agreed on 50/50, there is no you owe me money. I honestly disapprove of her even asking. You are now taking on more cost going forward, but you aren't married to this person. I would consider her spending habits at this point, before you look into those next steps. IsoReddit says, nope, repaying her, since you got the better job. Nope. Randchick says, you should keep the 50/50 set up for household expenses, but you should pay for the romantic dates, since you have more leisure money. Excellent_mango 7377 says, you should have probably offered to pay a higher share. Since you didn't, consider the back payment as a mild penalty, lol. But instead of giving cash, maybe you can fund a nice trip vacation/experience to celebrate your new job. Being financially generous is one of the biggest turn on for women, even though they won't admit it. So, never hesitate to go overboard for someone you love. May motivate you to go and earn even more money. You become more powerful every day. Joe ReVD says, the 60/40 split is fair. Repaying the months where this wasn't agreed, I feel is not. Depends on how many months you'd be repaying, maybe? Black and Oldmum says, I would tell her no way. It's not your issue she has debt. Doesn't matter who had a good job. 50/50 is what should be paid. Shady underscore emoji says, my ex tried to do this to me too. Knitting309113 says, I think splitting things more proportionately going forward makes all the sense. I think the retroactive payment is greedy and unfair on her part. Southern Property 44 says, well, I would kicked her out of my house and ended the relationship right there, cause I hate people that renege on their promises. r/relationships. Gambrilove says, boyfriend, 25 meters, has issues with what I, 25F, wear. My boyfriend, 25 meters, and I, 25F, have been together for 6 months. I stay at his place a lot with his parents. Well, today I walked out there in comfy soft high-rise shorts and a crop top that really only showed barely any of my stomach. He tells me I need to wear more around his parents because it's disrespectful and he doesn't want his dad checking me out. They seem fine with it, but he seems uncomfortable with it. I'm obviously going to wear more because I don't want him feeling that way, but it's a bit frustrating. He also gets jealous if I go out in any kind of crop top I just try to be comfy, but him having to change up my whole wardrobe for this man TL. Dr. Boyfriend uncomfortable with my clothes. Coolbean68 says, yay, this is how control starts. Tell him you'll wear whatever you want and he has no say. His dad can keep his eyes to himself. You aren't wearing that to be sexual. He's disgusting and you don't need his advice on your clothes. Watch out op, don't let him change how you dress or anything else you like to do. Flamingus2468 says, more weirded out that he thinks his dad would check you out. Front_account 1511 says, it's your body, your choice. If he can't handle it, he needs to grow up. Beltaloda Opa 22 says, being respectful of his parents is one thing, having him tell you that he's uncomfortable with what you wear is a whole other. Why would you ever let a man tell you how you can dress? Individual Fox like says, if he doesn't want his dad checking you out, he should talk to his dad. Do not change anything you wear for him. If you're comfortable and you like what you wear, then it's on him to work on his insecurity. Davis07 says, stop staying at his parents' house, I guess. Burton says, youth. I hope down the line you gain the life experience to identify when a difference of opinion does not need to be tolerated and can instead be a hard pass. r/relationships. Sufficient hat 5651 says, my parents, 60 meters, 60F, feel they have the chance to rewrite history with their first new granddaughter, and as their estranged daughter it hurts me, 31F, how can I manage my emotional response? I've been struggling this week, perhaps selfishly as my brother's wife is at her due date. She gave birth last night to a beautiful baby girl, and is the first niece/nephew in our family and the first grandchild for my parents. I've been shunned by my parents for leaving their fundamentalist church. I sometimes attend a United Church, which they barely consider a church, but am quite distant from religion as a whole, and they immediately wrote me off when I got a boyfriend who wasn't a believer. I wasn't invited for family functions, Christmas, birthdays, nothing. They haven't spoken to me in 2 years. I was over the moon to learn about my niece. However, during my sister-in-law's pregnancy, my mom said in front of my other brothers, I'm the only girl, that if it was a girl, it would be an opportunity to rewrite history, meaning that they could overwrite the so-called failed experience of parenting me with a new opportunity to get it right and have a good Christian granddaughter. This leaves me in a place of fresh grief. While my parents shun me, they also seek to replace me, and the family-shaped hole in my heart seems to grow a little bigger. TL. Doctor, how can I manage my emotions better so that I can show love and affection for my siblings and their children without becoming sad and resentful for selfish reasons? Atlantic_Waters says, I see no selfish reasons there for you being sad and resentful. Rather, I find religious fundamentalists to be highly selfish and abusive. I met some. If you have a good relationship with your siblings, then this might make your parents furious on a regular basis, if that comforts you. Maintain your good relationship with your brother, and be supportive and a good example to your niece. There seems really not much more you can do for her. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not, for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.